So this week we have the FOMC meeting. That is the only thing going on tomorrow. That is going to be the big market mover. That is going to be the thing that decides whether or not we go up or down here in the coming days and weeks. And we know it's not likely that we will get a rate cut. What it's really going to rely upon is how Chair Powell sounds at the press conference. Is he going to sound dovish? Is he going to sound hawkish? That is what our fate hinges on. So be careful of that. Be paying attention of that. Mark it on your calendar. 2:30 p.m. tomorrow. He's going to be taking the mic. He's going to, speak and tell us whether or not, one, if we get a rate cut, which we're not going to get. Two, inevitably there will be questions about future rate cuts and about the tariffs and all that stuff. So expect extreme volatility tomorrow. Don't be surprised if you see your account up, down, and all around tomorrow. So don't get too emotional tomorrow. Maybe even just step away and don't look at it. It's just going to be an exercise in frustration, I think. So I'm probably not even going to look tomorrow. Anyways, today we've got housing starts, building permits, a couple other things. We got more housing starts than expected, so that's actually really good that the housing market's picking up. It's been looking bad for a while, and that's a forward-leading indicator. And the fact that it is going up is actually good. They had more building permits than expected as well. That's also very good for us here. Import price index is up 0.4%. It was expected to be 0%. It's supposed to be 0%, and it was up by significantly higher than that. So that kind of sucks. Import price index minus fuel doesn't say what the expected was, but it's up 0.2% from the previous read. So we have our import prices are increasing. That is likely due to, again, the tariffs. All right. So what else is going on Thursday? We have initial jobless claims. That may or may not move the needle after tomorrow's meeting. If Jay Powell is like, oh, it's going to hinge on jobs, then that data will be really important. If he comes out saying we're declaring victory over inflation, which we're very nearly at, then we may see a rally. So be paying attention to those things tomorrow. All right. So let's go ahead and look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin has really been what's holding us back right now. Bitcoin plunged beneath, $90,000, went all the way into the 70s. We hit 70. We hit 76 at one point here on March 11th. Is that the bottom? Was that the bottom? I don't know. But we can see here that we came up. We're forming something of a flag. So let me come in here. So we came up. We're flagging a little bit, and once we break above this 200-day moving average, then we move up to the 50-day moving average, up at about $90-ish thousand. Let me get rid of that. At about $89,000, we'll hit that 50-day moving average, and then that is likely where we're going to find out if we are going to go higher or lower here on that. Let me get rid of all these little drawings. There we go. And that is also kind of coinciding a little bit with the top of this descending channel. If we break the 50-day moving average, you better believe we're going to go a lot higher on this thing. And we're going to do it really, really fast. So I am watching that for all of the plays that I'm interested in. Right now, I'm still saying it's a bit early as long as we're below the 200-day moving average. I don't like catching knives. It's not my favorite thing. I've done that too much this year already, with AMD, with Soxel, with a few other things. I've caught a few knives, and that's been really quite terrible. So I don't really want to catch any more knives this year. I'm playing a little more, close to the chest here, a little close to the vest than I have been last year. So things are getting a bit dicey, a bit rough. So I'm waiting for greater levels of confirmation before I enter trades this year. Of course, nothing I say is financial advice and not a suggestion to buy, sell, or hold any asset whatsoever. Just my thoughts right now. So I'm cautiously bullish. Now, you may notice these green and yellow boxes on my chart here today. That is new. This is the support and resistance breaks and retests chart prime indicator. So it shows where we've seen like support and resistance in the past and the volume at those levels. Right now, we're looking here. We've got volume of 1535. It gets way higher than that. So it's not like a really intense area. Well, actually, if we're talking about Bitcoin, never mind. I'm used to looking at it on like SPY. That is a lot up here. So we basically, once it gets above this 92,000 area, it has eliminated that resistance zone. And once that it has eliminated that resistance zone, it should turn green, and we will come up, test it from above. And once we've tested it from above, then we can move on higher from there to all-time highs. So yeah, Bitcoin's basically been holding everything down. If you're in Solana, oh boy, I got stopped out of my Solana at like 118, which sucks because it didn't break this volume bar over here. It should have gone a little lower. It should have gone like 15 or so, but I didn't want to lose all my gains, man. I should have. Oh well, I should have sold it all at 300. Oh well, I sold a good amount at 300. I should have sold more. So anyways, we're down from the peak. We are down. Currently, we are down 58%. We went down as much as 61%. How do we know when this is over? Again, we got to get above this, basically, this volume, this resistance area over here, which is going to coincide right with the 200-day moving average. Once we're above $183 again, well, then we are on our way once more. We could, at this point, we could come up to the 50 and fail and come right back down to like 116 or lower. So pay attention to that on Sol. We are going to get the market open here in a second. You can already see in the early morning hours, everything is basically down except warrants, but those will follow their corresponding underlying stock here. Soon after, everything's down about 2% or so. I have the outlier with 0% move. Bitfarms also with a 0% move. Things have been looking really just disgusting of late on the miners. MicroStrategy also down 3.8% today. Not doing so hot, especially when Bitcoin's down, MicroStrategy will not be up. So we're kind of just waiting for things to get out of this range here. I want to see it get above the 200-day moving average. I want to see Bitcoin interact with the 50-day moving average, see what it does there. If it slices right through it, I'm in. I'm just going to go be chasing it up. That's okay. It's not the end of the world. Let's see, Soxel down in the pre-market, Nvidia down. Everything's down this morning in the pre-market. Tesla down another 4% in the pre-market. That sucks. I started buying a Tesla position. I started buying a VRT position. So we go to the daily here. I started buying a VRT position, a Vertiv position. Why did I start buying a Vertiv position? Well, it broke my descending trend line here, right? And I was expecting it to come up to this white line, which is almost 2. Once it breaks this white line, well, then I'm expecting it to come right back up to about $100, maybe even up to like 117 or so, especially as the Blackwell chips are starting to roll out and get into full production. You can see that the stochastics are looking okay. It's green on yellow. The yellow is pointing pretty much straight up. The green is starting to follow. The RSI got a bullish divergence and started to recover upwards. The BX trender is making higher highs on the daily. That's good. We might see it, merely come up to like 96 or 97 in the rollover, but I'll be paying very, very close attention for that. If we go to the weekly, not the 3-day, but the weekly, go to the weekly. Is it still deeper red? It is still deeper red. So this week we are looking for this BX trender to turn to a lighter red. We want to see the stochastic turn into a yellow. This bearish thing, all this bearish divergence that's been playing out on the RSI has, worked its way out, and this move up doesn't look too terribly different from this past one, right? Came up big, down big, now we went up big, and we came down big. What's going to happen next? Maybe we'll go up big, maybe even 186, and come right back down big to like 110. We'll see. It's making hill after hill after hill, and perhaps our next stop is going to be in the high 100s. We'll see. That'll be nice. I'm starting to build my position there. And of course, like I've always said, nothing I say is financial advice or a suggestion to buy, sell, or hold any asset whatsoever. Please do your own research before investing in anything and come to your own conclusions. Always have your risk in mind before you enter any position. Have your take profit in mind before you enter any position. Always have those things in the back of your mind. Okay. What else is going on here? Yeah, everything's looking pretty disgusting today. Let's look at the indexes real quick before we take off here for the day and go into some other things. So I did get long on QQQ. Actually, let's not look at SPIRE yet. I did get long on QQQ. I got long on QQQ for a couple of reasons. One, we have this big old hammer candle, this big hammer candle at the bottom of the move. We got a bit of a fair value gap there. We got like this gap between the wicks there. Like, boo, boo, boo. I like that. That's nice. And I'd like to see it retest the 200-day moving average, right? I'd like to see it retest the 200-day moving average. At the 200-day moving average here at 493, I get extremely cautious because after such an insane dip, that 200-day moving average, we might roll right over that, make a new lower, slightly lower low. It might be like 465, maybe 462, something in that range. And then from there, start rolling back over, creating something of a double bottom. So it's something akin to this, right? We came down, then we could come up to about, that 492, 493, roll over, go slightly lower, and then start making our way back up. making that double bottom. That's what I'm looking for on the QQQ. So right now, once it hits that 200-day moving average, I'm probably going to exit my long. Okay, I have way too many lines on here right now. Let me get rid of some of these. Let me get rid of some of these. Oops, I don't want to lock it down. I want to get rid of it. Too many lines. Okay, there we go. That's the amount of lines. That's the appropriate amount of lines. So basically, yeah, if we come right back down to like for anything under 474.36, I'm going to leave this position, this long position, anything. Once it hits that 200-day moving average, I'm going to leave and see what it does there. And that's basically what I'm doing here. As you can see, the BX trender is getting making higher lows. The stochastic is yellow on ever so slightly green, but it is pointing straight up. The RSI is starting to recover on the Qs. So we are looking for that bounce, that relief bounce into a potential dip, making a double bottom, and then potentially coming all the way back up to the highs from there. That's what I'm looking for on this thing. Well, hopefully it'll play out that way. Same thing with SPY. Same scenario with SPY. Except SPY is probably going to hit the 200-day moving average, here today or tomorrow if we actually get some positive action out of this thing. We'll see. We'll see if we actually get any positive action. It looks like we're not going to, but we might. It's not impossible. We've turned red pre-markets into green days before. Yeah, same sort of scenario. I'm expecting this big drawdown to turn into a test of the 200-day from below, maybe a slightly lower low just to scare the bejesus out of you, and then come all the way right back up to the top. That's what we're looking for on that. Palantir, let's talk about Palantir really quickly. Palantir has it's got a lot of consolidation right here in the like 90 to high 70 range. Lots of consolidation there. But I don't like the looks of this move right here. That is feeling like a bear flag. So I am feeling like this could come. I don't think we're necessarily done with the high 70s yet. And if we lose the high 70s, if we lose that, then we come to like the bottom of that support around 68 or so. I am looking to re-enter Palantir. Honestly, I'd like to see Palantir come down a little bit further. I'd like to see it like come down to critical support, maybe like 63 here. I mean, I guess that wouldn't be critical support. Critical support would be all the way down here. I'd like to see it come down to like a little bit of a lower level of support. Like we chewed into the support a little bit, but it's not that thick of support. I'd like to see it drill down into it a little bit more versus just tapping it and retesting it and going from there. Of course, everything beneath $95 right now is still a little bit sketchy for me on this one. Because, I mean, if we go here, so you could do this from a couple of levels, right? For the fib retracement, right? So we came up here. Basically, if you started from this dip here, yeah, we hit that 786 with perfection and bounced. And once we get above the 0.5 here, yeah, happy days, we're going on. You could also say that it was from this big gap up back here. That's where this big uptrend began. And in that case, we would need to come all the way back to about 64 on the 786 before seeing the real institutional buy-in come back in. So that's what we're looking at right now. That's what I'm paying attention to on Palantir. If we drill down a little bit, I think we can see some. Yeah. So it's not really showing any resistance above. It's showing a little bit here. I do think that we need to hit like that $64 range down here to really say that Palantir is fully flushed out. That or we need to be trading above 94 and show strength up there. Anyways, that's all I've got for you today. The miners are looking terrible. Yeah, the market just opened. Yeah, miners looking bad. They're kind of they're waiting for Bitcoin. They're waiting for Bitcoin to make a move. Bitcoin hasn't made a move. They're not going to make a move. And that's all there is to it. It's kind of boring right now. It's like watching paint dry at the moment. So anyways, hang in there. And with that said, please like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Check out the Trade Cave store, link in the description, as well as the channel bio, and have a profitable day.